Blessed, 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 blessed is the man. Blessed is the man. Blessed is the man. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight, hallelujah, is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night, because we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. The devil is a liar, and we are back with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Welcome back, my listeners and viewers and all of my subscribers. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me apologize for that break in transmission. I'm not blame nobody else but myself for that break. Yeah. Because I'm flying solo this evening. Flying solo. And touching some buttons, sorting out some things that I don't normally sort out. And lost the connection. My fault. Welcome back though. So, we'll start back the show. Right where we did there now. Because we're not afraid of no guy. And we'll start it back right there. Right there.
Good morning, Minister Vaz. What gave rise to this very, very strong statement we're seeing from you, where you call the Gleaner by name repeatedly and accuse them of partnering with the PNP in a bad mind campaign against the rural school bus program?
That's not rocket science, George. If you look at the campaign,
So the
that
buses
when
remains.
buses were announced, and the position that the PNP took, and the PNP and the Gleaner took, you would have seen that it was a collaboration against the policy of the introduction of the school bus.
So the Gleaner and the PNP collaborated, is what you're saying?
100%. I want to ask you a question. A letter that was written in July 2025 by the leader of the opposition. How does that make the front page today? You remember the commentary? You bring school bus to kill off people picnic.
That was a comment from Peter Bunting. A comment from Peter Bunting,
You
yes.
remember all the utterances? But they weren't only doing it. They weren't only doing it on the political platform. We are now seeing that this letter was sent in July 2025. Well, I have news from Mr. Golden this morning that my ministry and myself operate fully, openly, and transparently. What I do know is that the buses continue to prey on their mind and their soul and their heart because they are so upset of the results of the election.
Are you sure you want to stand by the line that the Gleaner and a media entity of decades of existence, that the Gleaner and the PNP have participated in a coordinated attack from the run-up to the last election on the school bus program? And you're comfortable sticking with that?
100%, and not only in relation to the school bus, but many other. And I just need to remind you and ask the listeners to look at who is it that has been on a campaign to destroy Andrew Holness. Where do those articles come from every week in, week out, during election, before election, and after election? Let me tell you something. I am in the departure lounge. I have a few good things to do for this country, yes? And I have taken off my gloves. I'm going to come out swinging because I am ready to retire, and I want to retire with my head high, and I'm not going to allow anybody or any institution or any political party to continue with the smear campaign against me, and now with my ministry and the school bus system. And all I ask listeners to do is be objective. Just look back, go back in the archives and look at where all of these campaigns originate. Look who the story writers are. Look at their allegiance, look at their relationships, and you will see everything as clear as day. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. Yes?
Daryl Wesley Vaz, you're saying this
Philip.
morning.
Daryl Wesley Philip.
Philip, all right, so I'll take that. You are saying you're making an extraordinary claim this morning, sir. You are making an extraordinary claim. And you're comfortable with what you've told Jamaica this morning about the pattern of coordinated attacks against the Prime Minister by a media entity? You're comfortable with that? I'm just asking you for the record again, sir.
I am more than comfortable. And as I said before, those who have eyes can see. Those who have ears can hear. And if I have said anything that anybody can objectively say, I will take the criticism. But I will not take it if it's coming from that clique, that cabal that continues to try and destroy the Prime Minister and myself in particular. And then, of course, others within my party and my government. But the two ones with the bullseye on their head is Andrew and Darrell Vaz. What is the connectivity between the both of them? Both of us work hard, both of us perform, both of us are well liked, and both of us are politically very, very, very savvy.
I hear you this morning, sir. I thank you for your time.
Where Darrell get that argument about he's well liked? Not even labor rights don't like Darrell Vaz. When get that argument? No, sir. No, sir. But I want to go back to the clip. There's a clip with Darrell from TVJ. That clip was from Nationwide News Network. This one is from TVJ.
That's finally taking the advice after elections.
Instead of used buses, the move is a total change in policy to the position leading up to the general election last year. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz gave an update earlier today at a press conference.
Here is the better news. It will be 100 new school buses. So we're moving from the used school buses, purpose-built. We have gone through expressions of interest. We have concluded on the specifications based on all our due diligence across Asia, America, Europe, and the responses to that expression of interest has brought us information to be able to develop the specifications.
Now, the 100 new buses are expected in the 2026-2027 fiscal year, which begins on April 1 this year and ends on March 31 next year. Initially, the projection was for 150 new buses, but budgetary constraints led to the change. Mr. Vaz is urging parents and guardians to register their children to get the bus cards and concessionary fare of $50.
The cashless system is seeing great progress. In terms of the registration, 8,108 students. Students' cards issued 6,393. Cards with zero balance, 6,355.
He's out. I want to play a video.
Though the buses remain safe, Mr. Vaz admitted there have been challenges.
Truth be told, that the buses that we have bought are performing. Yes, there are some issues in terms of, as I said before, road conditions, terrain, etc., etc. We have had some accidents. Thankfully, no fatalities. One serious injury of a passenger vehicle that collided in the bus. And we were able to get immediate footage of the bus using the technology on the bus with cameras on the outside of the bus and on the inside, which obviously helps the police to be able to do their investigation much quicker.
Good morning, Minister Vaz. What gave rise to this very, very strong statement we're seeing from you, where you call the Gleaner by name repeatedly and accuse them of partnering with the PNP in a bad mind campaign against the rural school bus program?
That's not rocket science, George. If you looked at the campaign from when the school buses were announced and the position that the PNP took and the PNP and the Gleaner took, you'd have seen that it was.
So, I don't understand, Darrell. Darrell, I don't understand you. Because you are admitting that there are issues. The buses were whole. $10 million for your whole bus that a man can buy in America for $1. And you don't want nobody criticize you, Darrell? Man, you think you're God? Eh? No. Listen to man again.
Though the buses remain safe, Mr. Vaz admitted there have been challenges.
Truth be told, that the buses that we have bought are performing. Yes, there are some issues in terms of, as I said before, road conditions, terrain, etc., etc. We have had some accidents. Thankfully, no fatalities. One serious.
What about the fumes from the tailpipe that is getting into the buses? What about that? What about that fumes? This evening, my listeners and viewers, let me also inform you that the intention this evening is to carry that public consultation meeting in Port Antonio, where the bypass that was promised, that was scheduled from 2014, yeah, that bypass, the new road from St. Thomas to Harborview. So this bypass that they are going to have the meeting about this evening is not new. This is Porsche project that the GLP shelved, and now they are bringing it back as if it is new. Well, the truth is the Prime Minister admitted in the Parliament that the drawings were there from the Porsche Simpson Miller-led administration. He admitted that in the Parliament. So this is not a new idea. It's not a GLP idea. They shelved it. Now they are bringing it back. 319 structures will be affected by the bypass for Port Antonio. And there's an invitation to all those people to be at the meeting this evening at the Port Antonio Primary School. We intend to carry it live right here on PortlandspiceTV to ensure that our listeners and viewers get a chance to see what is happening. We are hoping that the people turn out in their hundreds, because it will not only affect the people who land it will go through, it will affect the entire Port Antonio. And it should be in a positive way. We understand that a lot of people are worried about what is going to happen to their house and them land and all of that. I'll say to you that I don't think it's nothing for you to worry about. You shouldn't be worried about it at this time, eh? Yeah, man, hook up now and give you the feed. Make we get that feed, eh? I'm going to send you the link. Yeah, man. You want it on this phone? I'll send it to you on this phone as well. I'll send it to you on both phones. But you know we're live, you know, so give you the link. Yeah. All right. So that's our source at the Port Antonio Primary School touching base with us at this time, because definitely we want to bring you up to speed on what is happening at Port Antonio Primary School this evening, because this is important. The town of Port Antonio is outgrowing the present road infrastructure, and we saw that a long time ago. We lobbied the Porsche Simpson Miller-led administration, and when she decided that she was going to finish the circle around Jamaica, because PJ Patterson and she did a part of it too, the North Coast Highway came to Bryans Bay, that the final leg of the connection was from Port Antonio to Harborview, and Porsche was intent on getting it done. She was voted out of office 2016, and then the GLP shelved it. And I tell people, you know, every time there's a GLP administration, anything when it happen at Port Antonio, them stop it. When they won 2007, they stopped the sewage drainage and water project. And when they win 2016, they stopped the road. and take years before they started. The road is not even fully completed yet. So they're giving us back the bypass like it new, but we know say it not new. And the good thing is that Portland people listen to this show, Portland Spice TV. And that's why we were able to take back the seat from the Jamaica Labour Party in East Portland. Because we educate the people, the masses of the people. And therefore, majority of who went out to vote in East Portland voted for the People's National Party because of the level of education that they got from Portland Spice TV, keeping them up to date on everything that is happening. We have a link, so let's take this link and see what is happening. Let's see what is happening. Peter Stamp.
Yes, sir.
So we're seeing you out there at Port Antonio High School. Is that the member of parliament driving in?
Yes.
So the member of parliament is driving. Oh, so the member of parliament. Tell him, yell him up there for
Yeah.
me. Tell him, say me I chat to him.
Isaac.
Tell the MP, say me I talk to him. Make us see your
Tell him,
face,
say
man.
what I say.
Bring up the camera
Walk
and
on, man.
face. Bring up
You
the
must have the
camera.
camera. You must have the camera the wrong way. Big up yourself, man.
Mr. MP, what's going
Walk
on?
on.
We're
But
there
there,
live
man.
on-
Just see what them people are saying.
We're live on Portland Spice TV. The world is watching, What can we expect? What should we be expecting this
But here for
evening?
the meeting, so I'll update you after the meeting.
Definitely. We'll be watching live.
All right, very well.
Blessings. That's Isaac Buchanan, Member of Parliament for East Portland, as he get to the meeting. And we see that a lot of people are there. So, Sir Stamp, we're going to give you a chance to switch back the camera.
Huh?
We're going to give you a chance to switch back the camera so we can see everything that is happening. Yes, beautiful. So, that is Port Antonio Primary School, where they'll be having the public consultation meeting this evening. The NWA will be there. Land Agency will be there. They'll be talking to the people as it relates to moving them and putting road through some of the people them land. Yeah, man. So we're here this evening. That is one of the things that we'll be focusing on. The meeting is scheduled to start at 5:30 p.m. It's now 5:35, so we expect them to start at any time. We expect them to start soon. And we're still waiting on Sir Stamp. If you want to jump off, Sir Stamp, switch it on. All right. So we see you. Let's see on the inside, Sir Stamp. Let's see what is happening on the inside. Yeah, man. This is Portland Spice TV. You're watching the Colin Bell Show. We are live. Yes, and we're anticipating a good meeting this evening because the people of Portland deserves this bypass, yeah.
Tell them to try pre-we, big up Portland Spice TV. Tell them we big up Portland Spice TV. Remember to subscribe. See, Portland Spice TV. Louis Culture say it once, so I say it again. Portland Spice TV. We are going to hold them and pop it off. Bogus match where we rip off. Subscribe, share. Portland Spice TV is here.
Yes, everybody. So Mr. Vaz don't want to be criticized about the old boss. You take $1.4 billion and buy 110 junk. Scrap metal, those are going to be within another year or two. When you could have purchased brand new buses. And you see, we taught these things early in the piece, So we don't want nobody go on like say, we just a run out now. We taught them things early in the piece. Early we talk. Yeah. So me no want nobody go on like say we just attack you now. Because we saw it and we know say it was a wrong move. Was a bad move to go buy old bus with the money. And we talk about it. But them never want we to talk about it. We made videos about it. Yeah. We made videos about it. See it now? Let's go in the guest room. Yeah, Cassidy, what go on? You at the meeting out of school? You just reach. We can get a feed from you. Then if me send you a link, me can get a feed. Eh? Uh-oh. All right, my boss. All right, cool. Respect. All right. Yeah, man. So sometimes we have to look more than one feed, you know. We have our feed out there. And we'll be carrying as much as possible. But, you know, we have a whole heap of link in the thing. But Brethren say him did it, but unfortunately, him not going to be able to give us any link to what is happening at the school this evening. So we have to just stick with our feed because we send somebody out there to definitely make sure that we get the feed. The JUTC will be losing some $18 billion this year. 18 billion. How much of that is attributed to the old bus? Because I said it, you know, go buy 100 brand new coaster with the $1.4 billion. We would not worry about terrain and all of this foolishness. You carry left-hand drive vehicle. Government take taxpayers' money. Go buy left-hand drive vehicle car come at Jamaica. The buses, Mr. Vaz, are not fit for purpose in Jamaica. Left-hand drive vehicle are not the ideal vehicle for Jamaica. This is what I said back then.
Oh, yesterday I sit down right here, so I'm going to ask 2 questions about the school buses. Why use bus and the cost? So I've gotten answers to both questions. Not from anybody who accosted me on my page, but from Minister Vaz. So the reason why I use bus is for expediency, to hurry up and get the bus then before the election. The cost, $1.4 billion. As I said to you yesterday, I am for school buses. Now, $1.4 billion buying 110 old bus. Now, in the press conference, him says some of them are 8 years old and 10 years old. I've been trying to ask how many of them are over 15 years old.
Hold on.
Yeah? Now, $1.4 billion for 110 old bus. I am putting it right here. That $1.4 billion could have bought 100 brand new coaster bus from Toyota Jamaica. Which one would you prefer? I would prefer the 100 coaster from Toyota Jamaica. Bad spin. My opinion.
Yes, caller. Good evening.
So.
Hey, Colin.
Yes, man. Wagwan.
Hey, Colin, you know why Darrell Vaz can talk like that, Colin?
Talk to me.
Because nobody is there to hold him responsible.
Yes, sir.
You notice, Colin, when a man are working at the bank, right, and some money get missing, the bank do them investigation and then call the police and charges are brought.
Yes.
But you notice the Auditor General.
Yeah.
Can't call no police to lock up nobody.
Well, when the Auditor General does her report, the Integrity Commission can now move in and press charges, you know.
But Colin, listen what me I say.
Yes.
In America, yeah, you see if the Auditor General, we have the Contractor General go in and find discrepancy. them lock up people. Me I go give a big case. Them have a lady who was mayor named Catherine Pugh. And she give contract to our friend them and get kickback.
Yeah.
You know what she do? She just recommend charges and them lock her up. May I say something to you now? You see when the Trinidad Prime Minister did attack,
yeah,
it fly over enough people head. You see, when she said a member of Trinidad was locked up and she called and she not get no response from the secretariat,
yeah.
a Trinidadian man was locked up in Jamaica. And Jamaica extradite the man named Shemwin Alexander.
Oh?
And Jamaica no provide them no information about the Trinidadian citizen up to this day. And when the man got US and the man go on trial and get sentenced, at them time that the man are making people know say, yo, a USA me there. So me I tell Jamaican people say Andrew Holness administration and make you know the enemy of the Caribbean.
Oh.
Because people now look on it say Andrew Holness people I say Jamaican, you know.
Yes.
When you look at and you see JUTC losing money, but when you have a private route and JUTC are going to take up bus and I run Knutsford.
Yeah, compete with private citizen. When you don't even have enough buses.
America is a big place and all them private crowd they are given to private people. So we cannot have taxpayers' money who should be subsidizing the fare for people gone on a road that can be occupied by regular citizens.
But not even can be occupied. You are not servicing the KMTR properly. You're not providing enough seats in the Kingston metropolitan area that you are supposed to be covering. And then you're gonna Ochi and you're gonna Mobi and you're gonna Negril. What was the reason for that?
Colin.
What was the reason for that?
Colin, the reason, just like how you see when Porsche them have the vision for the highway, Colin, and the PNP, it was to help the Jamaican people, you know. You see, under them vision for the highway is to cut out the poor people and make tourists move from airport to the tourist destination, you know, Colin.
Yeah.
A two different vision, you know.
Yes.
But you see the people at Jamaica want them listen this carefully. We have the highest paid politician in the Caribbean.
Oh, yes.
We have the highest paid judges.
And
we have the highest paid police commissioner.
And the lowest paid citizens.
The lowest paid citizens. But may I tell all the top rank people what we have, you know.
Yeah.
We have the highest paid bank, the man who run the bank, the governor.
Yeah.
We have the highest paid in the Caribbean. We have the highest paid electoral commission people, let me not call in.
Wow.
The man put all them people in place now. When people see the man put Warmington over there, you know, people don't understand, you know. Warmington salary at 25 million just in the electoral, you know, call it more than an MP, you know.
Yes.
Yes, because he might get the difference. Him can't get the politician pay, him get the electoral.
Him take the bigger one. He's taking the bigger salary.
The bigger one.
Yes.
So the people them must circumvent the system and the Jamaican people them sit down. Me are telling you know, Jamaican people, all you need to do, you know, even if you don't work in the tourist industry, you know, just don't go work for 2 weeks. And the demands will be met. It must be met.
But you gonna tell a hungry man say no get no salary for 2 weeks, caution?
Colin, we are come from when we used to eat yam, dasheen, badu, cocoa, banana.
Some of us know that, some don't know that.
We are come from when we used to just warm the oil and get little tomato and cut up and make seasoning and eat it.
Yeah.
With the protein. So if you are tell me, say you happy with going to work and can't pay your bills, you when them a promise you know and I tell you say hotel people say them a go build house for you. If you no can't afford a house and a minimum salary, how not go afford house still?
Brother, it's serious. Jamaica is in a serious trouble right now.
Colin, we're more than in a serious trouble. Colin, we are pretty mad people. We're worse than 80, Colin.
Yeah.
Why you say we're mad people?
Why you say we're worse than 80?
Colin, because we've been undergoing so much stress and pressure for over 16 years. Our murder rate compared to 80, who is in a civil war, is higher than them.
Talk to me.
Our abuse that we have been receiving is higher than 80, who them claim is the worst in the Caribbean. So we're worse than them, Colin. We're worse than them. The Asian dollar, when you really look on it and break it down without the civil war, them dollar better than ours. Wow. Them society better than ours.
No, it look
them
like
society
caution.
Better than ours.
It look
Colin,
like
at least them have, even if them stress, Colin, them can go any beach them want.
Hold on, caution. It look like the meeting start. Let me.
All right.
Let me get inside and hear what is happening.
0.5 kilometers long road. The road is a 4-lane highway, and it is separated by a median barrier. So eastbound traffic will be separated from westbound traffic by a median barrier. The entire 7.5 kilometers of road is estimated to affect 296 parcels. That's land. Within these parcels, we estimated from a rough roof count to be 313 structures that will be affected. So on the screen, it's just a narrative of what I just said. It's a greenfield arterial bypass road, Portland Town Center, start point at 30 Crawl, end point at Norwich. It's a 4-lane arterial road. Along this road, there's one bridge. It's going to be by the Westbound River, and there are going to be a major box culvert at the Eastbound. The project is currently in the design stage. That's roughly just the details of the grades and slope that the contractor is or the design did. I mean, we all know Portland and it's very hilly. I think the design calls for about a maximum of 8%. On the screen here is just how it intersects. This is the Turtle Fall area, and this is just an image of how you get on and off or access the road. On the screen now is the opposite of binary. Again, how you can get off and get on.
You have to get up to the front. Get up to the front and circle upon the camera for me, please.
I want you to take notice of the signalization. It will be a full signalized intersection.
Sir.
On the screen, here's just a typical section. This will be the eastbound, and this will be the westbound. And in the middle here, you have a Jersey barrier. It's a concrete barrier running down the middle of the road, separating eastbound from westbound.
Trying to get a steady camera space so as to let you have a proper look. You know, cameraman is just getting into the room. I don't know if he never realized that the meeting started. So he's getting into the room, trying to get a space where we can have a steady signal coming from the Port Antonio Primary School this evening, where they're having the public consultation as it relates to the bypass, the Port Antonio bypass that is going to be built. Stampy, you need to get up to the front, please, and thank you. And get the camera on the tripod so that we can be steady, so that the broadcast can have some good quality. So, you're watching Portland Spice TV, and this evening we're going to be carrying the public consultation meeting for the Port Antonio bypass right here on Portland Spice TV. Yeah, man. Let's go back to it. All right. Look like him have a better space. Beautiful. That looks good, Stampy. That looks good now. Yeah, man. Circle this up. And let me unmute this mic.
Crucially, too, Port Antonio will also get its first set of traffic signals under this particular project. I'm going to invite the Member of Parliament to give his thoughts, and thereafter, as I said, I will. I'm going to speak. Let me speak. All right. So you'd have heard of the parcels that are going to be impacted, land. In constructing the road, we will have to acquire land that is privately owned and lands that are owned by the state. Based on the design that is pretty much set, there are roughly 300 parcels that will have to be acquired. Some small pieces, some entire parcels. You'd have heard of structures based on overhead shots that have been done. It suggests that 300 and a little bit structures of varying types are going to be impacted by this project. Now, there's a process that is usually engaged when we have to execute works of this nature. The land acquisition process is engaged in between the National Works Agency and the National Land Agency. So the Land Agency will be engaging property owners on behalf of the government generally, but I would say working with the NWA, because we are the project managers and ultimately we have to sign off on the payments that are going to be made. The process that is engaged in doing this involves the serving of notices. We have what is called a Section 3 notice, and in terms of that process, everyone who lives, work, or owns, let me say owns, maybe that's what I should say, parcels or have an interest in parcels between Turtle Crawl and Norwich, even though it's not on the board, that just for demonstration purposes, would have been served with a Section 3 notice. So the Section 3 notice is what we would say we're giving notice to the world. Everybody who is in the space who may be impacted would have received that. Once the designers have gone through, done their designs, and we know for sure where it is that the alignment is going to be taken, we then move to another notice, referred to as a Section 5 notice. When you get a Section 5 notice, it is saying to you that your land will be touched. A Section 3 doesn't necessarily mean that your land is just giving you notice that something is happening. When you get a Section 5 notice, the second notice, we are saying to you that your property is going to be touched and there is going to be some engagement between you as property owner and the government through the National Land Agency and to a certain extent the NWA as well. All right? So some persons would have already received both notices, Section 3 and Section 5. What is going to follow soon thereafter in terms of the Section 5 notices is that the NLA, based on Section 7 of the Land Acquisition Act, will seek to engage the owners of these parcels. And I use that term loosely, so to speak, because I'm aware that you have properties that are titled, meaning you have a registered title, and you have properties that are unregistered. You also have properties that might have been given to you by older generation, older relatives. And you have properties that might have been gifted through deed, will, or whatever, but you have not yet completed the process. All of those things we're aware of. But it's when you engage the NLA and the NWA in the process for payment, when some of those things will come out. If I'm to where it is that you have your titles, I would say, and you have received a Section 5 notice, I would say make sure you can find it, you have it in a place where you can reach to it quickly, right? Because it is going to be required for you to enter into negotiations with the NLA as it relates to acquiring or the payment for whatever it is that is going to be acquired, whether it is a sliver, meaning a small piece, or a big piece, or its entirety, right? Because, as I said, some persons, it's entire parcels that are going to be acquired. In other instances, portion, and some other instances, bigger portions. Now, the process, if you can ensure that you engage, negotiate, and settle your situations with the NLA when the time comes, I would say it is the best thing in these kinds of setup, because if there is no agreement as it relates to the acquisition, so you can't agree and there's a lot of back and forth, then the process will move to what is referred to as compulsory acquisition, right? And this is where The government will say, we are going to be acquiring this parcel because we need to build this road. And that process, that's another process that is going to be engaged. And you won't necessarily get any payment until, back up, just listen please. You won't necessarily get any payment until the back end of the project. Because the thinking there is this. All right. Why? It's because I know the questions will come. I'm not so sure. I don't eat pork, so I don't know if it's our Portland. But we'll explain anything that is not understood. We're right here and we'll break it down so that you understand. What I'm saying is, when you enter into a negotiation with the NLA, it's similar to you saying to me, I have this piece of land and I want $10 for it. And I may say, no, I think it value 8. And we get a valuation done. The valuation says it is 8.5. Yeah? And you enter into contract, what them call private treaty. Yeah? You go in a contract, you sign that contract, and I say, I'm going to give you that, and you say, all right, fine, no problem. And we pay you, or you pay me. When there is no agreement, that doesn't obtain, that doesn't exist. So the government does have the power to move the process forward, and so you go into what is called compulsory acquisition. With compulsory acquisition, you do get paid once you have legitimate interest in whatever is there, whether in the land or something on the land. You do get paid, but that process, the payment process, is delayed until the back end of the project, because at that time it is known exactly what it is was taken, because sometimes the contractor will say, I want 1 square of land. But I understand 1 square and 2 square and something. Yeah. So the contractor said that he want 1 square of land. And we go out and we buy 1 square. But then at the end of the day, the contractor only used a quarter of a square, or half square. So half remain. Ideally, what you would have wanted to buy was half square. So you leave half square, the contractor use half square, half of the 1 square. So half square leave, and government now has to hook that up. Right? If it is that you're going into private treaty, you're going to get paid for 1 square. If it is that you go compulsory, all you're going to get at the back end, you'll know that it's only half square that was taken, and it's half square you're getting paid for. Based on all that would have transpired. So we always say to persons, I mean, when you think about it, it is sometimes better, or most times better, when you go into private treaty, because one, you're getting money, and two, there isn't that delay in you getting that which you ought to receive. So we know it is going to be challenging for some persons, but we are going to try and make it the process that is as easy and as simple as we can, because at the end of the day, the road is being built not for those of us who live in Kingston, and I don't live in Kingston. This is a country boy, Trinidad I come from. But really for the persons who live and work here in Portland and who intend to make Portland their home for until the big man put in appearance. All right, so it is not for us. So it is for a greater good that persons will have to give up something in respect of the properties that we are going to have to acquire in the process. All right, the questions will come. The MP said that he wanted to speak after I made those statements. So I allow him to speak, and then we can go straight into the other part of the meeting.
Thank you. Greetings. I can't hear you, know. Greetings. All right, so I know that you're listening. I promise you I'm going to speak English. But first, there's a type of English that years after, people not necessarily still don't figure it out. So I'm going to give you some Jesus English now. It may come in parables, but I promise you, I want you to listen to what I'm saying, and it will become clear. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. They came for the Venezuelans, and I did not speak out because. Then they came for the Cubans, and I did not speak out because. Then they came for the youth them where rub out them hand niggle and extrajudicial killings reach them, but I am not a. So I did not. Well, when they come for Boundbrook and Norwich, the people in Mansion Hill say, I did not speak out because what? But they forget that they are from Portland, and I'm including East and West. The point I'm making to you is this road, and I'm going to give you the hard truth. And listen to me. No member of parliament, whether they know how to dance, whether they know how to use a roller, whether you see them on the tractor, whether they make nice fancy videos and said, look at the road that I give to you, they are not responsible for roads. The people responsible for roads, I don't want to throw Stephen Shaw under the bus, but he is the communications person, is National Works Agency. I want you to hear me out. Now, what do I mean and why am I telling you this? I wear two hats. I'm your member of parliament, which means that I serve you in that capacity. I just happen to be an attorney like Mr. Stephen Shaw, and I am now forced, compelled to work in that capacity for you. Can you appreciate that? Yeah. So, for those who, and my ears clean, may use the cotton swab. Those who are mumbling and choking on their words to say, may I play politics and if you shut up and do the business. I'm explaining something to you. This is serious business. This is your life. This is your neighbors. I do not care who you vote for or who you give your life to, whether it was Bustamante or Norman Manley. I'm telling you to listen and wake up because this is Portland issues and Jamaican issue. This is about housing. This is about displacement. This is about ensuring that you live somewhere at the end of this. And if it doesn't affect you, that your brother, your sister, your neighbor, or the person you don't like still have a roof over their head in a time when climate change is rampant and we don't know when the next hurricane is coming. So any attitude that you have, I hope I'm speaking English so you can appreciate that even if you don't like me, I am constrained and willing and happy to work on your behalf, because they who know not what they do put Jesus on the cross. Now, having said that, just hear me out. No matter how you feel, no matter who you are, rich or poor, when you leave here, here's something I'm going to tell you. Me not ask Christ the bypass to happen. Not me doing it. No matter how beautiful they say it, that road is happening. Here where we are now. Mr. Stephen Shaw said some beautiful words about Section 3. Let's talk about Section 3. It is a notice. Whether you say you get it or not, whether you looked at it, it is gazetted. There are properties. There are 313. I'm not Damien, so I did have 319. Can't count good. But hear me. Those structures belong to people, and it's blood, sweat, and tears that they use to have it. Many of you would have approached me, and I have files for a lot of you. So one of the most compelling ones is that you have your granny and your great-grandfather buried on structures, and you grow there, and that's where your entire life and existence is. Appreciate that. What you must preserve is value, because a bulk of you, when Stephen Shaw said, yes, you have the title, you present the title, and all is beautiful, and you run off in the sunset, and you get a piece of land in Fellowship and another piece in Mansion Hill, and you feel good. Somebody said, Jesus, but me not no title. In fact, my granny did dep on the land, and I guess me born, and nobody no show me no paper. Me never know the land never register. Two things. It is called what the affluent people in Jamaica like to say, only squatters. I sat on the Privy Council, and other people in the world call it adverse possession. It is a right that you have that we are going to have to look into. It means if it is a private parcel, and Stephen gave you information about the different type of parcels, and I want you to listen. If you're on a piece of land, either government own it, or the person who own it gone a foreign long time and not coming back. You are there to the exclusion of everybody else. A fee land if 12 years pass, a fee land if 60 years pass. Don't matter what they say. So it would simply mean then that there are a number of things that you're going to have to do. Your neighbors and your witnesses will have to say, yes, a long time we know, say, Miss Bailey did dep on the piece of land, and the peg there, but as she lived there is her land. You understand? After that, we do affidavits to present the case to National Land Agency. I was hoping that a representative would be here, because the truth is, NWA and China Harbor, they want to do their road, and that's their concern. National Land Agency is the agency that's responsible to interface with you. What we have to figure out is where we're going to live if they take the piece that I am on. And listen, and my hope is that when we engage NLAs, that they find alternative land spots and housing solutions in Portland, because you don't want to end up in Westmoreland, because $500,000 can't build back house. You understand? So take it serious when I tell you, no matter how you feel right now, I am going to ensure, and I'm telling you this, that the value of what you have, and if they tell you it's just the house because you don't own the land, and you know that you own the land, we're going to speak about that. The advocacy is that they came for us, but because it's all of us and they are not like us, you know that song then? Drake don't like that song. But anyway, we are going to ensure that we respond to preserve your interest. So your land right now, our land, and they come for our land. We're going to make sure that you get the best value for that land. Because there are some of you that will leave here and say, me nah move, me no want move, but when it comes the aspect of it, that is the compulsory acquisition is a very painful aspect. It goes and jumps through agencies and ministries sometime, and you just get left in the cold. And then you're gonna say the MP never helped me, and that can't be right. You with me? So they're going to speak about the process of the Port Antonio bypass, the aspect of it. And I will say this, I'm not a hypocrite. Development is always good. The people of Portland always complain about roads. Even now, probably the road in front of where you live is in such a state that you're complaining. But is Stephen Shaw responsible for that? I promise you. No. It simply means then that while we cannot fight the bypass, a key thing that was said is it is in the planning stage, the design stage. That simply means that when they're finished, after they tweak some stuff, that 319, worst case scenario, maybe the structures may be more or it may be less. They may use your land or they may not use your land. So the engagement that happens has to ensure that the best outcome for you in these circumstances is what we need to preserve. That's why I am here today to listen also for you. Hopefully I'm speaking the same English and the same language like you, so that when you engage me privately, because when it comes to ownership of land and structures is really a private matter. Here's what I mean. You're in here and Lana sell auntie there England and she want you come out because money around and she want the money. And that displaces you. You might be in a situation where there are multiple structures and all of a sudden the bigger brother said the whole is a female. That's a private matter that we have to resolve before we engage National Land Agency. I'm encouraging you to use the office of the Member of Parliament, which happens to have an attorney at law in there, and make your appointment for your private business. You don't need to tell the secretary and the assistants what the business is, but come and preserve your right, and I'm doing that for you for free. Please use it. Thank you.
Yes. I don't think there are some very important points that I am hoping that you are taking notes, because I know as it relates to legal services, it's not cheap. So anybody offering them free legal advice and free legal services, I am going to jump on it. The road is meant to be of a developmental type. The intention is to allow Portland and Port Antonio generally to grow. What I didn't say earlier was that the stretch that we're going to be building from Norwich to Turtle River Park, Turtle Crawl, sorry, is the first phase, of a road that we intend to take from Norwich all the way to Boston. Right? A new road. So that's the thinking. And it is going away from the coast, more to the more south of north-south of Port Antonio, so that the lands that are there, that are presently undeveloped, not being used for purposes that can add tremendous value to individuals. The opportunity will come from this road because it is going to be one that is fitted with modern amenities to facilitate the growth and development of this space. All right, so I was actually, the MP did inquire about NLA. I was expecting a representative from NLA to be here. I'm not sure what has happened. I get that there's some rain on that side of Portland, so are in St. Mary's. I'm not sure if that is what has caused it, but rest assured, engagements with NLA will take place, must take place, because that is the process that has to be engaged for us to construct this road on lands that government now does not own. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to wait to be identified, say your name, and then speak loudly so we can respond to that which you are inquiring about. I'm going to use chairman's privilege and recognize this lady because she has been trying to speak and I shut her up from before. Stand, madam, and say who you are. Just say your name loudly.
My name is Dick. Hi, here.
All right.
My question, I know that this project supposed to be in conception long ago. Am I right? So why is it that the resident was not given a proper notice in time so they can make preparation? They know that this thing is coming, so they do what they need to do. More than this thing coming like Jesus, when they say come, I go come like thief in the night. But they just come overnight and just come on the people them. And I say, well, you upstore people like all over them. I think that no, we have to go do this. Just something like that. I think the people should get a proper notice long ago so they can make preparation. So to say, so yes, you know, say I hear down the line, I have to go move from here, so we start do the thinking and the whatever. I don't think that you just come because the person just know of this thing that I could just go overnight. Then just see people just come in at the ear and say, when they inquire, oh, this is what is going to happen. And this is that we have no respect for each other. Huh? Yeah.
All right, so let me explain to you how is it that we have come about to be speaking to the construction of this road valued at 81 million US dollars. As you're aware, we have been working on what is called the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. That's a road from Harborview in Kingston to Port Antonio, right? You're aware, if you listen, you will get the answer. It's part of your problem and you don't listen, some of you. I am answering the question, but you need to listen. So what I'm saying is this. We have a project from Harbor View to Port Antonio, the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. The government decided to add onto that project, given all the challenges that Port Antonio has been enduring over many years. They did what is called a variation. So it's the same contract. So they have added to it the road from Turtle Crawl to Norwich. So I have to explain to you the background so you understand. It is not a different contract. It's the same contract with a varied portion, right? So yes, there could have been 5 years given, or 10 years, or whatever. But I don't know whether government would have been able to in 5 years, 10 years. I really can't speak to that. That's a higher level conversation. I function at an operational level, right? So I can speak to what it is that we do on a daily basis, what we plan to do based on what government provides. And government has provided funding, and government has said that this is what these funds are to do.
If you're just joining us, we are watching live from Port Antonio Primary. It's the public consultation meeting for the Port Antonio bypass. And on the floor now is the communication officer of the NWA, Mr. Stephen Shaw. You heard from the member of parliament earlier, Isaac Buchanan. The people are now asking questions and receiving their answers.
I mean, I have an opinion, which I won't share necessarily as to why that and how those things can be dealt with, right? But my opinion is not important as it relates to that. So we have to, where we are now is that we have to do that which we are mandated to do, recognizing the individuals who are going to be impacted and treat with each individual based on the circumstances and the facts surrounding their matter. Yes, ma'am. This lady is on the floor, please. Let us hear her. Good evening, ma'am. Kadian? Yes.
So, what persons who reside on the contract, and I know they have to live there 60 years or more, and to fall in an instant, you have some person living there under that. What happens to those?
All right, so the question for those persons outside that Katie is asking, she's asking about government-owned lands where persons are living on these parcels. What happens to those persons who are living on government land? That is something that I would say to you, if you find yourself in that position, speak to your member of parliament privately in his capacity as an attorney. That is my answer. Yes, ma'am.
I'm on the floor. I am Margaret Pulling Thompson. And where I
let us hear Miss Thompson, please.
Where I'm living, I bought it. And I am 7 years of age. And I want to know how long from Turkey Fall to the end here, so how long I am going to live where I am for you to demolish me.
All right.
So, and for example, my land value $50. Right? Am I going to get the $50 or $20?
Okay. Reasonable questions, Ms. Thompson. And I understand the context of your question. Okay. So this is it. Once you have received the notice from the NLA, and you are invited by the NLA to an engagement, a meeting. They're going to invite you to come in and talk with them, right? It is in that particular meeting, in that discussion, that the engagement about how long will take place. I cannot tell you here because each individual has a different issue, different situation. And so when you sit with the NLA, you raise these issues, either you or your representative, and those things will be taken into consideration when it comes to timing between when you go or not. The payment is going to be market driven. In other words, a value is going to be placed on your property in the same way that were you to be selling it to me, you would go to a evaluator because we don't know the value of land. You get somebody who is, sorry? All right. And those valuations are market-based. It is not NLA sitting down one side and saying, I'm going to pay you $10 for that, $5 for that. No, it's market-driven, and that is how they arrive at those costings, and that's how they are going to be paying persons for whatever the take is. Land, if you own the land and you have a house on it, it is land and house. There are situations where persons own houses, but they don't own the land. Those situations, there's a special way to treat with them. And again, when you go into those discussions with the NLA, those discussions would not take place here, cannot take place here. This meeting here is to arm you with information and to get you to understand the next steps. The Member of Parliament said some things to you, and if you listen to him, you should find his office tomorrow morning if you have certain situations. That not as MP, but as lawyer. That will be my urge. Or if it is not him, find somebody else.
Embarrassing. Just let me give you a caution or a legal caution, and it's a matter for you because I know you have burning issues. There are some things that you would say while this thing is live that you will give away your rights and your opportunities. Shut up your mouth.
All right. So just to complete what I was saying, if it is that you own building but not the land, you'll be compensated for building. But it is not. Follow me now. There are situations, because we have been around this block many times. I've been around for a little bit. We have 3 people come and say they own the building. Government that might pay 3 people. Right? So we are going to have to do our own checks, our own due diligence. So we're gonna go to Rastaman and say, Rastaman, I'm here did this this time. I said, no, sir, I'm here never did this. I'm here live up a Yala too many years now. But me say I'm build a house and live here, so. You follow me? So there are ways to treating with some of those things. If you don't, and if it is that you go through the process that's as explained by your lawyer, and you acquire that title after you get paid for the house, they're compensated for the land. But there's a process. All right? Yes, ma'am. She's asking, what about persons who are paying mortgage to the National Housing Trust? Similar situation, if you have a mortgage on the property, valuation is going to be done. Whatever the outstanding mortgage is, of course, NHT, you are due, the government will be duty bound to settle that mortgage sum, whatever the outstanding sum is, and then to pay you what your equitable, what your money would be outside of the mortgage. Sorry. Yes, sir. Your name? Sir Thompson, yes. All right. Ownership is either you have a registered title if the land is registered, or you have a deed if the land is unregistered with your name on the valuation roll, or if you have got the land through some bequest, meaning your father, your grandfather give it to you in a will or something like that, but you have not yet. Even so, what you have then is an interest. You don't. We don't even say you own it yet. The way to determine ownership is your name being on a title, and unregistered is what was common law title, right? Yes. What category? Again, if it is, there's no category. What you have there, so is an interest. You have an interest, you're treating with the title. What will happen is that your ownership matter would be, it will still go through the process, but you could not be, or you would not be compensated as owner until you produce that duplicate certificate of title. It's not that you won't get compensated. You will once the process is completed and you produce that title. All right? Just a minute, Russ. This lady had something to say. Yes, ma'am. If you have this. All right, so the lady here has asked, what if you have a diagram? A diagram is not a title. All right, you have to move from having just a diagram to getting a title. Again, you need to speak to your lawyer. Yes, sir. All right, if you're living on a leased piece of land, you have the lease. You can show the NLA your lease agreement, or the owner is still around and is willing to say, yes, I leased it to Rastaman, and we know that Rastaman owns this house. The structure is what you'll be paid for. All right? Yes. So you're not going to be left alone. Sir. Your name, sir? All right, so that is asking whether there was any consideration about carrying the road across the sea. So there would have been a consideration, and that was just about the consideration. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody.
All right, so please let us hear this lady.
Bailey Hamilton here.
Yes, Miss Bailey Hamilton.
Now, earlier on, I hear you mention that it was an additional to what was happening before the project, if I'm being correct, right?
Please let us hear her.
So
Hi, good evening, everybody, again. Bailey Hamilton here. So earlier on, I hear you mention that the bypass would have been an additional to the project that you people would have had before, correct me? No, I want to ask you this question. Now, every project, you would have to do a survey. Still need to be corrected if I need to. No, I'm asking, was a survey being done where the government, not being bullied, the people, would come around and say to the people, we're thinking of having a bypass. Persons will be affected, but at the end of the day, life will be improved. Was such a survey was done? Another thing, not being bullied again. Why weren't a meeting proposed to the people prior to this now? Because what I'm picking up now is that the government already stipulate their plan, have their plan, what they're about to do, what they're initially going to do, and this is what it's going to do. But the government did not take into consideration in informing the people, because they're behaving as if we're nobody. I'm not saying you, but you represent that body now, so I am addressing you, Project King. So you may address. So was that any come into consideration at no point? And another issue, 3 questions, someone you answer them, and one time again, so let me make you say. Now, for instance, it's just today, that's why I'm here today. Today I've learned that I have 2 sets of family that is being affected by this. Now me have my uncle, and he dead left a nice piece of land. Not really buy people dead. I want area over one place where nobody never want to live. And all of a sudden now the government decides say, I'm not gonna say it, excuse me if you don't like it, bullied us to say that they're gonna acquire our land. Me might not know if we young and if we old and if we can't make house. Now I feel my uncle will own, done ship and done everything. Why not make a house? Because the money that you give now, the government give, I'm using you still represent the government, that can't make house. What we have, that can't go back to make house because black and steel and all of them something. And you may put us at a location that is inadequate for him because based on age. Thank you very much.
All right. You seem to suggesting that there is a relocation part because you're saying government may put your uncle. We're not going to be putting anybody anywhere. That's not part and parcel of our engagement. So we are not going to be saying to anybody, go at X place or Y place. That is not what we're about. We are a works agency, not a relocation entity. All right? As it relates to the plans for the road, I'm aware that this Port Antonio bypass was spoken about a few years ago, right? I can't tell you how many years ago, but it was certainly spoken about some years ago, all right? Now, understand something. Understand something. We could not have come out and engage anyone without having the requisite information, having the appropriate information that we can speak around, because everything would have been up in the air, not knowing whether it is that we're going to be going across the sea, up in the sky, or on land. That does not make any sense. So we are now here because we have something. We have a plan. There's a design, and we know that there are certain deliverables. There are certain things that must happen, and we know that there are certain people who are going to be involved, so we have to treat with it. A survey would have been done, and you're talking about a topographical survey. The topographical survey would have been done contingent on, listen to me, a survey does not necessarily nowadays involve men walking up and down with a stick and looking at you thing. You mean, oh, you mean a poll? All right. No. So that kind of a discussion, it is not something that is normally done, because the planners, the policy makers usually have certain information and certain presumptions are made based on the information that they have, and it is out of those things that plans for roads, markets, hospitals, schools, and so on, that's how they come about. That's how they come about. All right? Sorry, you wanted to say something. Please. Okay. Do you have a question in relation? I hear you. Do you have a question in relation to the Portland bypass? I can hear you. No, I hear you. You can speak to me afterwards, but for no. All right. So you don't wish to hear me any further. You don't wish to hear me any further. So if you don't wish to hear me any further, you know, that's fine. You have been.
For me, it is too limited. I don't want to say as turned off from the first of the intersector and it has not proved inadequate. So why has the proof of the driver been more inland? It would have accommodated a greater expansion of the personally, I have to here a relocate. So in a
Again, you asked a question, sir, and you have answered it. So it won't be. And I don't know anywhere where this kind of process is engaged and you talk about replacement value. The market is what? Because it is going to be very challenging to be speaking about replacement value. Right? You asked the question about your reference Ocherios. One of the issues that we have had, and we have to learn from history. We have had bypasses in the past that turn out to be urban roads because they run so close to the road that existed before the ones that are built. This cannot be said about the Port and Toda bypass that is being proposed. If you look at the distance between C and where it is that we are going to be building this road, you have quite a bit of areas within and without for developmental purposes. And we are going to be having, as was mentioned, 3 access points, because part of the challenge that you have when you reference like an Ochiros bypass, you have so many roads coming out onto it. Not going to be happening with this particular Port and Toda bypass. We have a median, solid median down the middle of the road. The access will have to be treated with in respect of those roads that are going to be constructed to allow access to the same. That is the plan. Yes, madam, right here. Yes, Miss Bailey. All right, so Miss Bailey wants to know how the notices are obtained. All right, so it's done through the do what is called a gazette. That's a legal process. So it has to be gazetted, put in a document. Then once the names are there, they are served on the individuals. So named. All right. If it is that individuals cannot be found, the law allows for the notice to be posted. So that's what that is. So follow me. We have situations where persons own land. There's no house, right? They own land, but you can find a tree, and you can put the notice on a tree because somebody, the thinking is that somebody will see it, and either the owner or somebody else will bring it to their attention, but they can't say that there wasn't any notice. Well, you have to, just a minute. I know where you're going. For that, you don't think it's appropriate. All right, we can listen. There's the law prescribes a certain approach. I cannot do anything about it. Your MP sitting in the House of 63, he can raise it there. All right, but I cannot. No, it is what obtained. I hear you, but it is what obtained now. All right, all right. So. The Gazette, and if you have any concerns, you can contact the NWA, and we will so advise you. All right? No, not right now. You can. If you have a particular issue, you can speak to us afterwards. Let me hear you, madam. Yes, you. Or you don't want to talk? Yes. Yes. You said that your land was encroached on? Oh, all right. All right. So again, you have a particular issue that we cannot deal with in this kind of meeting. We'll talk to you separate and apart. That's an individual issue that we have to deal with. All right? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. My name is Park, and I'm asking, the people whose papers are not yet sorted out. When this road will come about, when the road is passing, if the road is going to come through the area before like you're going to demolish the house and take the place before the papers come about, where that person is going to live until the road comes.
You know, again, we are, as NWA, we are charged with the responsibility to build a road. While I understand the nuances as it relates to persons living and some of persons are farming in different areas, that is why you engage in the process from early, and you engage the NLA early, so that whatever needs to be done between when that engagement takes place and when you're going to be told that, look, we really need this space now, you would have had some leeway, some time to treat with whatever issues that there are. That's the only thing I can say to you. If you have a particular issue, when it comes to ownership, again, you have to treat with the NLA or speak to your MP in his capacity as an attorney.
Sir, one more thing. That means those processes, when you go to the union, should be full speed ahead, just like how they would come in.
The NLA, again, the NLA will treat with all the issues that persons have, whether you have title or not. There's a process to be engaged to dealing with those things. I cannot answer all of your questions here tonight because each person has some issue which is not the same as the other person. So what I can give you are general guidance, or general guidelines. Yes. Again, when there is a 25 feet from center line. Right. So your setback is supposed to be 25 feet from the center line of the road. That is what it is. So that's why sometimes, I mean, I've seen situations where, please, hello. All right, I think I'm gonna tired now, so it's now what? 7 o'clock. All right, so we're gonna wrap up shortly. So, hold on. Just a minute. You had a question on the lady. Yes, you. Yeah, that lady behind you. All right, she no longer wants to ask a question. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. All right, she wants to know how one will know if they are going to be taking a part of the land or all of the land. When you engage with the NLA, because the design has been done, they know exactly what it is that they are going to be taking. And at that point, when you have the engagement, they will tell you that you're going to be taking 1 square, half a square, no square. That is at that point that you will know. Yes, you have been chomping at the bits. Come, let me hear you.
In our jungle. My land has been in my generation for 20 years.
Mrs. Johnson is on the floor, please. Her land is on, has been with her from the 18th century. Let me hear her, please. Yes.
We are here for that one. Oh, we just bring a map for you. Yeah, you see, I no one knows that we need that.
Have you been, let me ask you a question. Have you been served with a notice? Have you been, what notice have you been served with? Section 5. Are you the person on title for the land? Or you have a registered title? And your name is on the title? Okay. So, at the point, if it is, just listen. You're asking the questions, you need to listen. If it is that you have been served with a Section 5 notice and you are on the title, listen out. The NLA is going to be engaging you based on Section 7 because they are going to be looking to go into private treaty, into contract with you for the purchase of whatever it is that they are saying that they are going to require for the building of the road. So the process doesn't stop at the Section 5. At that point, you will know if it is that they are going to be taking 1 square, 2 square, half a square, and where. All right? No, I'm not talking with people there. You ask me a question for you. So anybody else who has, so you can, so since you're the mouthpiece for those other people, just tell them what I have said here. It will apply to them, those who have had Section 5 notices given to them.
One question.
All right? Okay? All right. Your one question over there. No, when I hear you. He's asking. Yes. There will be plenty of discussions. Not so much in a big room like this. Discussions are going to be had with the individuals because I believe while there is much merit in us having this schoolroom meeting, there can be greater clarity when we engage each person on their own turf with their own peculiar situations. You understand? Yeah, so that is going to happen. So it is not going to be a situation where persons just come and bulldoze and you don't know anything. That's not going to happen. All right? Hold on. Yes, ma'am. Let me hear you. Your voice is, the mic has said something. Say let me repeat it for you. You know what I'm repeat it? Say you don't want me to do anything.
I think I speak for everyone when I say we don't want to be relocated. We want back our house and our land. You come here tonight and you don't come with any answer. You come to bully us, obviously. You want to be spoken and you want to be heard, and we don't have a voice. You is the only person that's supposed to have a voice. That is not how it goes. We build our land from sweat and blood and tears. Our house, hunger, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and you're just going to come and evacuate us? We don't want any money. We need our house and we want back our land.
All right. So that was a breaking transmission. And all right. So next question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please let me hear the gentleman. We're gonna wrap this meeting in 5 minutes. Yes. Is Miss Williams around? Principal Williams? She here still? She was supposed to come and see me.
Good evening, sir. It's a bit disappointing that the land agency is not here. For a project of this nature that impacts many of us, and the agency is not here, is sending a very wrong message. Because you will not be able to sufficiently address the land issues, which I believe is a sore point in this room, and for many of us. The question I have, sir, is, will the feedback coming out of this meeting or the issues raised here tonight have any real impact or influence the completion of the design of this project? Will it have any impact at all? Because according to you, you are in the design process or stage. So it makes no sense that we are raising the issues, making a lot of noise, and then nothing changed.
What is it?
I heard you said, sir, that the land agency will treat each person, each issue separately. What time frame is given to treat with these issues? Will the issues have any influence? And what time frame, when will this project start, and what's the completion time of this project? All right, so the contract to build this road is what is called a design and build contract. The China Harbor, they have I'm a communication person, I'm also a teacher. And if you listen, you will learn.
Oh, you are arrogant, sir.
So it is what is called a design and build. The design phase is about to be wrapped up for us to go into the building phase. The building phase will get going within another 2 months. All right. Just listen, just listen. It is not, follow me, follow me. While, just listen, oh man. I can tell you that the building phase, in some respects, is on the way on government land, because not all the land is owned by private people.
And that's why the government.
So the government for its part will start on its land. Right?
People,
so and that phase is on the way. So I don't want persons, there are people, believe it or not, there are people who have already spoken and they have already indicated with their titles that they have no difficulties going through the process of their properties being acquired because they understand what is being done. Right? We know what the issues with the other persons are. And so that's why I said to you, the individual issues will have to be treated with individually, because each person has their own challenges, own issues. And it is when you engage in those discussions with the NLA and the NWA that you'll be able to flesh out and decide how we go about acquiring whether a piece, a bigger piece, or all. Because it's not everywhere. It's not every person here or who is going to be impacted will be losing everything. No, that's not the case. And one of the reasons I would have come here this evening is to try and make sure that you understand this. Because you hear about government acquiring and land and thing, and you think that everywhere is going to be flattened. No, that's not the case. All right, yes, sir. Let us talk afterwards. There is a way. All right. I did hear before, and if I recognize you, you're going to be the last person for the evening. So let me hear you. Yes. The register now come after. Where is? Who has the register? Somebody take it away. There are two of them going around. Oh. All right. All right, Miss Williams. Miss Williams was supposed to be back here. Is she here? Is she here? Miss Williams not here. All right. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to thank her. All right. Let me hear you. All right. Oh, important question. He's asking the estimated finish date. So, as I said, it's a design and build, 24 months. So, 6 months for design, 18 months for construction.
We are about to. For me what amount of money will be spent to do this bypass?
That is it.
Yeah. All right. So that is the plan.
Cost of the bypass for me.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have had a. All right, so we have had a very good meeting. If you drive 1393 KC, you may not be able to leave here this evening because your battery is going dead. The lights are on. I want to thank you all for coming out this evening. I hope that we would have brought some clarity to the situation. Follow the advice that has been given and stay tuned for the individual conversations that are going to be taking place involving the NWA, the NLA, China Harbor, your Member of Parliament, and other representatives as we work to build out this very important 7.5 kilometer stretch of road from Turkey Crawl to Norwich.
All right, so if you have been with us, let me thank you for being with us. Thanks to Mr. Peter Stamp, the man on the camera there at the Port Antonio Primary School, for assisting us in carrying this live broadcast to you as we hear from the NWA. And it's really disappointing, as Ryan correctly said, that the land agencies, they are not there. And you'd expect that in a meeting like this, the land agency would have been there to give the kind of information to the people, but hey, they weren't there, and that is a bit disappointing. And I'm going to try and get the land agency to speak with us. But Monday, we should be having Stephen Shaw right here on Portland Spice TV to talk more about the Port Antonio bypass. Let me just thank everybody who has stayed with us. Thank you for the time. This has been the Colin Bell Show for yet another Tuesday evening. Do remember to join us Saturday morning when we'll be back live on Portland Spice TV for the Colin Bell Show, when we'll have much more. And as I said, Monday evening, next week, Monday evening, we expect to have Mr. Stephen Shaw with us right here on Portland Spice TV. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again Saturday morning for the Colin Bell Show. Peace be with you, my people. One love.